Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this one we're going to be doing a full day of Fit On meals, and I'm super excited about this one because I have been using Fit On for quite a while, but I've never done a full day of just their meals. So I am going to be doing some small tweaks to some of the recipes just because I want to make sure that I thoroughly enjoy these meals. So let's go ahead and jump into it. For breakfast, I'm going to be making the roasted vegetable frittata. I don't actually have any roasted vegetables on hand, but I do have some sausage left over from yesterday's breakfast, as well as some fried potatoes. So I'm going to incorporate those, as well as some peppers, onions, and spinach. So I have my pan heating up, and I went ahead and added in some olive oil, and now I'm going to add in some red and green bell pepper, as well as some white onion. And I'm just going to allow that to saute. Next, I'm going to add in that leftover sausage, and then after a couple minutes of sauteing that, I'm adding in a few of those potatoes. I also had some frozen spinach that I went ahead and chopped up into smaller pieces so it wouldn't be like huge spinach leaves in it, and I'm going to add those in as well. And once everything was warmed through, I went ahead and added in some beaten eggs. I think I did about 5 or 6 eggs in this because this was not just for me, this was for my whole family. I just went ahead and poured in those eggs, and I'm just going to let those kind of set in the pan. And you definitely want to make sure you turn your pan down to low at this point so you don't burn the bottom of the eggs, because we're not going to move this around once those eggs go into the pan. This is a frittata, so we're not going to kind of disturb them. We're going to put the top on and just allow them to cook all the way through. So at this point you can see that the eggs are nearly done. So what I did was took some Parmesan cheese as well as some Mexican cheese and just topped it with that. And then I'm going to pop it under the broiler on high for about 2 to 3 minutes, just until the cheese is melted and the eggs are completely done. And this is how it turned out. You guys, this was a huge hit in my house. This was so good because I turned the pan down to low. The eggs weren't burnt on the bottom, and it was just a really delicious, filling breakfast. So definitely give this recipe a try. You can put whatever you want in it. You can tweak it however you think you would like it best. But just as far as like the cooking technique and making a frittata, this was definitely a winner. I'm going to make this again for sure, like 100%. For lunch, I decided to make the creamy tuna wrap. So I'm going to start out with boiling some eggs because I love to have boiled eggs in my tuna salad. So that's the first step for me. And then while those are boiling, I'm going to go ahead and open up some cans of tuna. And because I'm making this for my whole family, I'm going to do more than just one can. So I'm doing like 5 or 6 cans of tuna and about 8 eggs. And once I open up the can of tuna, all I do is leave that top of the tin in there and then just kind of squeeze on it, and that is how I get all of that liquid out of there. And I'm always going to be using the tuna with water as opposed to oil. I'm not really a fan of the tuna that's in the oil, so I always choose the one that's in water. And actually, I like to get my tuna from Aldi. I just really like the texture of the tuna that they sell there. It comes in really big chunks, but it still breaks apart and gets kind of like flaky, versus the albacore where it kind of stays in chunks. Hard to explain, but I really like the tuna at Aldi. So this is what the can looks like, and this is what it looks like on the inside of the can. After that, I'm just taking all my hot eggs that are now done, and I'm going to just run cold water on them for a few minutes just to cool them down and get them to a temperature that I can actually work with them. And then of course you have to peel them and chop them up to put them inside the salad. So once all the eggs are in the bowl with the tuna, it's time to start building the salad. So of course you need your Old Bay. Tuna salad is not tuna salad without Old Bay, and maybe that's because I'm a Marylander, but definitely don't leave that out if you can avoid it. So yeah, I'm gonna add in some Old Bay as well as some garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, and if you feel like it needs salt, you can add that as well. And then to give it a little bit more flavor, I'm also going to add some mustard. I always add mustard to these kinds of salads. And then I'm going to add not only mayo, but also some Miracle Whip, and that just gives it a little bit of sweetness. But that is completely optional and up to you. You can add whatever kinds of mayo substances you like. But yeah, I'm going to use both Miracle Whip and mayo. And the amount that you use is another thing that's kind of up to you. You can do less to end up with less calories, or you can add a little bit more if you prefer yours to be a lot more creamy, but that is completely optional and based on how you like your salads to be made. Once the salad was put together and I was happy with the way that it tasted, it was time to move on to the wrap portion of it. So I decided to go ahead and put some peppers and onions into a pan with some olive oil, and I'm just going to go ahead and saute those until they get kind of soft. I did go ahead and crank the heat up to get them a little bit charred so I can get more flavor onto them. And once that was done, I just cleaned out the pan and added in a burrito sized tortilla. And this is where my wrap is going to differ from everybody else's. Well, it deferred at the peppers and onions, but I'm turning mine into a quesadilla. So I'm adding in my burrito tortilla as well as some Mexican cheese. I'm doing a really light sprinkling of the Mexican cheese, and then I'm also going to add in those fajita veggies and my tuna salad and turn that into my wrap. Once I got everything in there and assembled how I wanted it, I just gave it a quick fold and let it cook on both sides until it was warmed all the way through. And there we go, we have a tuna salad quesadilla. And you guys, this was so good. I just cut it into 3 pieces, and I really like the way that the tuna salad tastes warm. It almost tastes like salmon. I don't know, definitely give this recipe a try because it was so good. I don't know where I came up with the idea to do this, but I'm glad I did, and it's definitely going to be a staple from now on because it was bomb. And I know I rarely show you guys drinks, and that's because I'm pretty much always drinking water. So here is my pineapple, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill it up from the refrigerator with filtered water, and this is what I'm drinking all day, every day. For dinner, I decided to make the honey mustard chicken, and this is another one that I'm going to put my own twist on. I am not doing a whole pan. I'm actually doing this just for myself, and to go with it, I'm going to make some roasted sweet potatoes in the air fryer. So the first step is going to be to peel the sweet potatoes, chop them up, season them, and then get them into the air fryer on 400 for about 13 minutes. For seasoning for the sweet potatoes, I'm going to use some salt, pepper, a little bit of brown sugar, and some olive oil to toss it all in. I prepared these chicken thighs the night before, so I'm going to go ahead and toss one of these in the air fryer, and I'm going to cook it on the bottom rack where it gets a little bit less crispy, just because I want it to warm all the way through before it burns on the top. Now that the sweet potatoes are done and the chicken is warmed all the way through, I'm going to go ahead and move the chicken to the top rack so that it can crisp up, and add a little bit of honey mustard dressing on top. And after a couple more minutes, boom, honey mustard chicken. And here is my finished meal. So I had my honey mustard chicken thigh along with some roasted sweet potatoes, and these were so good. just go on ahead and give all these recipes a try and then come back and thank me later. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That is it for what I ate in a day using Fit On. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.